And we are live. Oh, that sounds so good, that siren in the background. You can tell we're in another country.
Sorry, shall I mute
it? And welcome to another ACCE Learning Network Hangout for 2015 with Police Escort. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Roland.
It's a place we can connect a network of our PLN and share our learning and teaching adventures.
And if you're watching us live, you can post a question to our lovely panel, an international one, by using the Q&A feature in this broadcast, or on Twitter you can use the hashtag ACCELN, and why not throw in ISTE 2015 as well.
And I'm Roland Gesthuizen, a high school teacher and e-learning leader in Victoria, Australia. I'm also with the DLTV, and I'm a surviving parent from the Melbourne Game Show. It's just taken up so many nights running around dropping the kids off for the last 6 months and rehearsals and 10 major productions and late night after game show parties. I've just finally come back down to earth and discovered this huge pile of washing and kids sleeping in. So it's breakfast, and good morning, Amanda from Brisbane.
Good morning, Roland. I'm Amanda Rablin, e-learning coordinator in Brisbane, as Roland has said, and I'm a proud QSite member and also a past ACCE study tour participant like 8 years ago. And that's when I first went to, way back when it was called NEC, to the ISTE conference, and I can only imagine how much it has grown and changed since then. My week has been extra fun. Since finishing school, report cards and all of that fun excitement, we decided we'd relax, get my voice back by moving house. So that's what's been filling my time, as well as checking in on ISTE people every now and again. So let's get to know who we've got on our panel this morning, or if you're in the US, this evening.
So give us a wave there, starting from left to right perhaps. We have Leanne. Thanks, Leanne.
Just need to unmute your microphone.
And sitting next to Leanne, oh, that's better.
Hi.
Leanne?
Hello.
Could you introduce yourself, Leanne?
We're sharing headphones. It's really annoying, tricky, and there's all these children going through right now. It's just...
It's high-tech this morning.
It's high-tech,
yeah, very high.
We're in the middle of the technology conference of the year.
They have a podcast room here. If only we could use it. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that would have been
Sorry,
cool.
there's children going through, so is that too loud?
No, that's fine. So, Leanne, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm a lecturer at Australian Catholic University, and in my spare time, I am president of ICT Educators New South Wales.
Fabulous. Lovely to have you joining us from Philadelphia this evening. And if you've watched our shows a lot, you probably know this next person, the lovely Tina.
Hi everyone, I'm Tina Photakis from Adelaide, South Australia, and I'm a primary school teacher. I nearly said elementary school teacher because that's how everyone knows us over here. And in my spare time, I'm the president of EdTech SA, so that keeps us busy.
All these
Thank you
people
for having us.
Spare time. Okay, so this morning or evening, I've got to stop saying today, even though it's different days.
Yes, today is Tuesday night.
No, it's Wednesday.
You're in the future.
So if you haven't worked it out already, we're catching up with a couple of ISTE attendees, and these lovely ladies have also just participated in a little Aussie teachers gathering at ISTE as well, which I'm sure was lots and lots of fun. So should we
Amanda,
just
we've forgotten our international man of mystery and leisure, Jason.
Oh, have we? I'm so sorry. Jason Zagami, introduce away.
It's fine. I'm Jason. I'm a lecturer at Griffith University and president of ACCE.
so many
Yep.
presidents joining us today.
So let's point our brazier at the YouTube feed. It's a chance for you to toss some questions during the show. There is a Q&A feature that's built into these Hangouts, and we'll be able to take some questions live. Also, if you're watching this as a recording, feel free to join in the discussion by tossing a question to the broadcast forum and event page. So what is ISTE? Go on, Jason. That was your cue.
What is ISTE?
It's the international. Are we still muted?
No, well,
Oh, okay.
Leanne got muted, but I'm driving the camera for you, so it's okay.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thanks. It's not. We're just looking at each other. Can I just show you what we have in front of us? Is that good?
Yeah,
See what
do
we
it.
have. Okay,
Do it.
hang on.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And the kids keep walking through.
And we have children walking past making a lot of noise, but that's okay because it's good to see children. Okay, so it's the International Technology. Oh, we've had a long day. Society.
International
Society
for Technology and Education.
We're so sorry. We've had. Okay, so one thing about ISTE, sleep is optional and not needed, obviously. So it's one of those things where everyone packs in everything. So please forgive us because it's been a very long day. So yeah, it's a fantastic gathering, fantastic conference of nearly 20,000 educators.
Mm-hmm. Did you say 20,000? That's a big number.
Yeah,
that's what
right.
Brian Lewis, the CEO, told us the other day on the stage.
So you can imagine that even a keynote you have to queue for, and you may not get in because that's 20,000 people. So
Tina, that must be
you're
the
not going to
entire
have a room.
population of educators from South Australia. 20,000.
Yeah, but that means that there is just something for everyone every minute of every day. So you are just flat out the whole time trying to get from place to place. The other thing is that it's a kilometre from one end of the venue to the other end. And invariably my sessions seem to be one either end back to back, and so you run. Everybody's got their Fitbits on, and they're killing it, absolutely killing it. 30,000 steps per day is not unusual.
That's correct. So they
Sounds
love
like
ISTE just for the walking.
Sounds like a quantified self-data challenge could be in action there. Show us your Fitbit charts.
Yep, started Diva.
Yes, wearable technology. I'd like to know, where is my hoverboard and flying car? Jason.
Well, somebody brought in scooters, and there's lots of those. Being American, there's lots of those chairs. Those.
The scooter, the motorized
wheelchair things.
Mm.
And yes, there was a Segway, but you need them.
Or Scootle.
Pardon?
Or Scootle, I suppose.
Scootle. Oh, Roland. Okay. Yeah, Scootle. Definitely needs Scootle.
He wakes up with that humour, I'm sure.
Oh, it's early morning for you. Oh, okay.
It is. Look, I'm having my Vegemite and my cup of tea.
Hey, we have to bring our own Vegemite.
Look at my coffee
I like
cup.
your mug. Yes, your coffee cup. ACCE 2014 and ACCE 2016. Oh, no, ACCE 2016.
Yep. Oh, Roland has his too. We're like matching today. And check out our jackets.
Oh, sorry, Roland.
Yes, we had the award ceremony yesterday. It was lovely.
Yeah.
So lots of people got the jackets. We need to pump it up for the Aussies now. So we're on to that, aren't we?
Yeah, indeed.
United with a fashion sense.
That's right. So guys, what have your highlights of the conference been so far, besides not sleeping?
Well, for me, the things that I've really noticed is the growth in the whole STEM phenomenon. It's really big and being done in an integrated way, moderately successfully. And the other thing is the makerspace. So Gary Steger, for example, and Sylvia are here, and there's playgrounds everywhere, makerspaces everywhere, everyone's talking about it, and PBL, as in project-based learning. So that too as well. But they're talking about it as if it's been introduced. So a lot of schools are hearing about it, but they seem to be really listening this time. So if Australia doesn't get their act together, we're not going to be the leader of this anymore. They're really picking it up in a big way. And when I'm talking about picking up, we're talking about 20,000 people who are really excited about it.
So we might be able to get a bit of a groundswell for that kind of thing happening in many places.
Jason, I might get you to jump in and actually describe what is a makerspace, and we can get STEM from the acronym, I guess. But it's much more than just simply smashing together a couple of subjects and beating them on the anvil of learning.
Well,
yeah, and I did say STEM too, so that's science, technology, engineering, and maths. But they're adding STEAM. That means they put the A in for arts. And there was somebody talking about STREAM yesterday, which is adding religion. So I think we might as well just forget it and call it education, because it's getting absolutely massive.
I hear you.
What they're talking about is trying to put emphasis on these subjects to get students to do it all the way through the education. So getting students in to do those subjects at university.
yeah,
And then the maker spaces, it is having learning via doing things. So building things and learning via projects, creating things. So there's lots and lots of hands-on stuff here. So there's lots of children. You could probably hear them from time to time as a whole class group will walk straight through the middle here. And they're here being showcased as well.
And I went to the playgrounds today, which are some amazing spaces. I've tweeted out some photos, and I was talking to a 5-year-old who had a blockie, and it was so funny. I filmed them with permission, and he's chasing his blockie around with his iPad, and the other guys didn't realise that he was showing me, like he was actually giving me a demonstration. So this little 5-year-old was like, "Get out of the way!" It was so funny. He was so assertive because he really wanted to show me what his blockie could do. And he gave me a great run through. And his teacher said that his mother said that he's been doing it since he was knee-high, and he's just grown up with it. And he was treating it like it was his friend. It was amazing. And I said, "Is that your own?" And he said, "Of course it's my own, and I can program it." And he was very confident. And there were older students around the place just looking at this little dynamo running around with this blockie and this iPad, pushing everyone out of the way. But it was just a hub of activity. And that's the beauty of ISTE, is that you can tailor make the experience to be personalised. And if you want to spend time in the Bloggers Cafe, you don't have to be blogging, but just connecting. It's like the hubbub of you walk in there, and even though we're from Australia, someone will turn around and recognise you, or through Twitter. It's just amazing. It's scary. I couldn't walk 5 steps without people. Think 20,000 people, and it's really, anyway, that's another story. But you can tailor make your experience. I love it.
I think the thing that I really like about ISTE is if you're into something in as far as educational technology goes, this conference is big enough to have the author of the book or the person, your hero, they'll be here because it's worth their while for this many people, and they know their audience and they know the reach of this thing. And not only that, you've got all these vendors, this amazing exhibition space that you could spend a week just going through that. The vendors have these amazing constructions and multi-story buildings in this room. So it's quite an event.
You don't have to look down, you just have to look up, and you can see the big sponsors. And they're not just giving away pens, you're getting things that you can take back to the classroom, like Google Cardboard, and there's a digital artist who's making portraits of people through Autodesk. I mean, I know they're companies, but the ideas are fantastic. and you can take them back and use them. And no one pressures you. In fact, they just want to keep giving you things, and there's no pressure to take on board what they're selling. But it's just great to see like Edmodo and to see all the big ones and people that say that, oh, well, I'm in charge of this part, and you think, oh, wow. So you're connecting with people. So that's what it's all about.
So you've mentioned connections a few times, and I know that you ladies have just participated in something quite lovely in terms of getting a whole bunch of Australians together, and there's been a lot of those more social kind of events that I've seen snippets of from afar, like the Hackfest and things like that as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what I believe you even organised, the Australian Teachers Catch-Up?
Yes, I did. Last year we had our first international reception with the Canadians. Jason, you were there. What did you think of it?
It was interesting. It's always good when you get a whole lot of Australians together and out of the country. They have an interesting way of exerting a social presence.
Well, this year we did something
Careful
different.
choice of words there, Jason. Thank you.
Speaking of which, Ben.
You know what? Having children at a teachers' conference is like having patients walk the corridors of a medical conference.
No, this is Ben
reminds
G
us why we're
from
here.
DLTV. This is one of our lot.
Thank you.
He's a big child. Conversation. As I was saying, this year was a little bit different in that last year we joined up with the Canadians, and that was a lovely experience in that we sort of went cross cultures. This year, though, we tried something different in the PLN lounge, which is right in ISTE, and it was wonderful because people were able to just come from sessions. So some people were in between sessions, and some people came and were here from the beginning. We had a great time. There was quite a turnout. We have put together a Google Doc so people are registering their details so that we can predominantly share some more information about our associations, because we thank ACCE and all of our state associations for funding this get together, and the food was lovely. No one complained that there wasn't any alcohol, so that was great. I think someone asked about a beer, but we gave him iced tea, so that was okay. And so we had Martin Levens and Leanne and a whole group of people with a study tour. Tony Brandenburg was here. Susan Larson was here as well. And we even had some expat Aussies, and that was lovely because it gave them a chance to catch up with us. And it was a novelty for the American teachers coming past because they just heard all these Australian accents. I mean,
and they really like our accent.
Yeah.
But Australia has made their mark on ISTE this year, because for the first time, on the first day when everybody was registering, and normally what happens is they do workshops on the first day or register and then go back to their hotels. This time we put on a Teach Meet, and Matt Esterman, who most of you will know for Teach Meets, had Teach Meets on for most of the day, and it was packed. They had to turning people away. So I can see that would be a really interesting event to continue, and I think they will, because it was really, really successful. And it introduced the US to Teach Meets, which they haven't had before.
No. They have
really?
which you know is a bit
interesting. I thought the unconference thing would be, and it sounds like that there is an interesting conference experience, that it's changing from perhaps one that's very passive and participant-based to one that's a lot more interactive and engaging and fluid.
Well, in fact, even in the years since I've been coming, it's changed incredibly. There's a whole lot of hands-on stuff now. The BYOD sections would be 4 or 5 times greater than it has been in the past. And what's really interesting is they're ticketing these events. Now, if anybody's been to ISTE in the past, I've spoken to people who've come and couldn't get into one session because of the volume of people. We've got a queue for hours for some of these things. So they've introduced these ticketing sessions, which means you only have to arrive a quarter of an hour before, so it's much better than what it used to be. So, but that's a hands-on activity that people are working with And then all of these spaces they've got with people actively involved. So as far as standing and delivering, there's not nearly as much as that as past years. So it's a really nice way to move forward with the conference, I think.
And there are lots of breakfasts, which are like birds of a feather. I was at one today, the Personalised Learning with Barbara Bray and Kathleen McCluskey. So they've written a great book about personalised learning, and it was just wonderful meeting other people who have the same ideals. And we were all just having breakfast and chatting, and that was very sort of relaxing professional learning, professional conversations, which were very rich. Got a lot out of that. And then, of course, there were the sessions and workshops. And
I think that the story we got from most of the people here, and Tony Brandenburg said it too when he was speaking to us as a group, is I think Australians just assume that we're not doing great stuff, that we're doing good stuff, but somewhere in the world, and probably the US, they're doing it so much better. I won't say it really loudly, but we're killing it, really. Some of this stuff, they're still arguing about getting wireless into schools here. They've got a 5-year plan for getting every school with wireless. And I mean, it's a huge place with a huge population and all sorts of issues that we don't have. But we do have the distance issue. We do have a very small population. And we've had it sorted for quite a while. And some of the things that we're doing are absolutely world class. And it's great for the teachers here to see that, and to see that people are coming to their sessions because they know we've got a pretty good reputation over here for the quality of work we do. So I think it's great, even for people just to come once. For people to come once.
I'm so sorry.
Just to see the quality of what we're doing. And, if you're a teacher and you think, gee, is what I'm doing in my classroom okay? And then you see, it's as good as some of the stuff that you're actually training to see. So it's a really affirming experience.
Now, I have a chance here to have a look at the ISTE website, and I'm interested to see some of the different keynotes. What did you think of those sessions? Because often they set the tone for the conference about where it might drive ahead.
We wouldn't have done yours. No.
They might be having a little trouble hearing us due to the excitement in the background there. Sounds fun. Oh, we froze you. Hi, welcome back. Roland was just asking, he's got
Sorry, we've lost you, but she's getting you back, I think. I
Okay.
can see mine's fine, but
Tina's not working.
Can I just flick you on so that we've got... Sorry, we're just going to... We're losing the sound as well.
Or just record.
Of course, the sound was in the other one. That makes sense.
Okay, we'll just use one device.
Now we've got this thing in front. Oh gosh, talk about excellent production quality here. Really professional.
Leanne, I love your shirt.
Oh.
It's a Grok shirt? Yay.
It's a Grok shirt.
How did you get one of those?
Oh, I'm special.
Wow.
It's super cool. Oh, we're hoping to hang out with those guys again soon too.
Okay, well, just
That's
one
next
second.
week's show, by the way, for anyone listening in. Ooh, shh.
We've got our teacher voices on. So when you were having connection issues with Tina's computer, Roland was just showing the website, so the website for the conference, and looking at the types of keynotes that were listed, and he was wondering whether or not that kind of helped to set the tone of the event and what you got out of the keynote.
Oh, okay, so the keynotes have been diverse, and sorry, just get rid of this cable. This year's opening keynote was Soledad Bryan, whose father was Australian, but her mother was Cuban, and she had she was a news broadcaster, I think, and she specialised in education. So she showed us a few personal stories of disadvantaged students. It was an interesting way to start the conference. And today's keynote was Jack Gallagher, who's a comedian. However, he has a child with autism, and he made us, honestly, he took us on a roller coaster of emotion through, as teachers of students with autism. We laughed, we cried. It was absolutely fantastic, an open and very emotional sharing of his story with his son Liam. And really, all of us could associate with parents like that we've taught their children over the years. So he brought the house down because he wasn't an educator. However, he was entertaining in his approach. He was speaking from the heart. And even though his child is now, how old did he say? 19? 19. He, the whole being understanding, but what did he equate it to? He said that it was almost with the diagnosis of their child. He said it was almost like the doctor saying, you have a broken bone, but we just don't know where it is. And he resonated with everybody. He got a standing ovation. Tomorrow's keynote is Josh Stumphurst, who's a teacher, and I think he's been a leading teacher. Actually, I had the pleasure of chatting to him, and he said that he's not into leadership, he's just a teacher, and he has so much to share with what he's been doing with in his own school. So ISTE has done that before. They had Adam Bellow, who closed the conference a couple of years ago in San Antonio, and brought the house down again because he spoke from the heart. And teachers love to hear teachers, but not only that, it's all about the stories, and that was another highlight of the conference. And one of the reasons why I love coming back, it's that apart from connecting with your PLN, I mean, it's wonderful to see your tweets, your Twitter friends face to face, but once you sit down and you start chatting, you find out that even though we're half a world away, we have the same kind of concerns and issues and sort of hardships to overcome, and celebrating our successes. So when we see each other, that's something that we've all said that we could do better. So yeah, the keynotes are quite an interesting part of the conference.
Yeah, I think the keynotes are a bit hit and miss sometimes because they often pick personalities who are a big deal in the US that we haven't necessarily we just don't know. Like, for example, the first keynote, she was a very, very well-known US journalist. I hadn't heard of her before, had you? Had much to do with
I
it?
knew through social media when they started discussing keynotes at ISTE, which people love to do. They just love it. I learned so much about Soledad before we even saw her. But I did like the way that she had done a lot of research with education.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think this year was probably the best three keynotes that we've had
in a while.
In a long time, yeah.
Although I must say, last year, Kevin, his name escapes, Kevin Carroll, oh my gosh, the Red Ball. He was, again, motivational. He wasn't a teacher, but he had a story. And he could have been a student in any one of our classes. You know, the child that was abandoned by the mother, and just seeing how he had drive to make his life better. And what did he equate that to? School. See, guys, school was what kept him going and what he strived to do, because he just knew in his heart of hearts, as a 4-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old, that was where he needed to be. So I've enjoyed them.
And looking at the discussions too, if I can just share here the current Twitter feed. This is from the ISTE conference here. I'm seeing so many wonderful things that are actually happening there. There are teachers who are reflecting about teaching, maker spaces. I can also see the Grok learning team here. They're different project-based learning. It's raining like hell outside, so must be a lot of umbrella sounds that are going on.
Don't talk about the rain in Philadelphia, okay?
Oh, I did mention the rain and the Melbourne sunshine down here. Minecraft. The tenor really seems to have changed to something that's a lot more collaborative, building, engaging. And I know that Jason may have some thoughts about some of the ways we might be incorporating that into the ACCE conferences, because we've got one planned for Brisbane next year, Jason.
Absolutely, yes. The ACCE 2016 is our equivalent of ISTE. Not quite the same number of participants, but certainly in our own small way of similar scope and intent. And
this is so dodgy. And celebrating Australian practice as well, which is really cool. So,
absolutely.
This is your chance, to invite 20,000 teachers to Australia. I want to hear you say it.
Well, we want more than 20,000.
Everyone at ISTE, come along.
Do you know what's happening? Everyone
they want to have
getting ready to go to karaoke tonight.
Yeah.
And
well, we can't hold you back from karaoke. But
no, don't be silly. But the social part of the
stream
conference is really important as well. Didn't you say? Oh, can I mention? Oh, have you finished, Roland, with what your question?
Oh, I was going to talk of something educational.
No, I was just going to say, last night we went to, well, there's lots of parties, but it's not about the parties, it's about the networking and the connecting. So it was hilarious. Gaggle, one of the big groups here, hired out the whole sports bar and the road.
And the street in
front of it. And there were queues on either side before it even started, so you all had to get a VIP pass. They were very smart with how they did it. So they didn't, but they don't harass you with talking about their wares. It's like, here's your pass. No, you just came to say hello, that's fine. And I was like, well, what's gaggle? So then he goes, oh, funny you should ask. So then they do indulge you and they talk to you about it. So we went, we were told, oh, don't go to Gaggle, it's too big, open bar, whatever. And we thought, okay, so we went to Twitwood Mac, which was run by a startup called Otis, which is lovely, and they're a little group, but they put on a really lovely show, and it was just really interesting. They took over the Hard Rock Cafe, so people like the social side of things. It's another way to network and connect in a more relaxed way. Alcohol doesn't have to be included, but when we were doing karaoke, I naively thought people were taking photos or maybe the odd video. Well, when I got onto Twitter, someone tweeted out, oh, Tina P, check out Periscope. And I was like, oh, no. Now, you're aware of Periscope. So this is a new takeaway for me. Don't ever assume people are just taking video anymore. They're actually periscoping. That is a verb. They're periscoping you to the world. Whoever wants to join. So look how far we've come. And forget about asking permission. It's like, it just happens. I mean, apparently my digital tattoo is intact, so that's fine. But,
yeah, it's interesting you said it, because there was a good ABC documentary on last week talking about the changing boundaries and things that we might have considered in your face and now considered the norm, and the way that people are using and engaging. I'm honestly surprised by the number of people that are dropping in little Periscope feeds, and they're not necessarily long, but they give a bit of a sneak peek into something that has excited somebody and wants to be able to share it. The poster sessions especially seem to be very popular for that.
Yeah, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm having to teach my students about forgiveness, because these little things are being documented and stored forever, and their friends are getting to see them, and their future employers are getting to see them, and we're getting to a point now where people can't forget their mistakes. And I think as a society, we're really seriously going to have to grow up and remember that, you know, when that happened, I was 17, and when I'm 29 and going for that managerial position, should we really hold that particular incident against me, when a lot of us did a lot of things in our youth that we would really rather forget, and fortunately most people have. But there's documentary proof now.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's a very good point. Imagine you had to try and maybe troll your boss and then show up some of his indiscretions.
How cool would that be?
It can work in the reverse, though, as well, in that kids will be able to show the interesting things they've done during school to their future employers.
Which is
really it's actually one of the points that came up today is, what are the future sociologists going to make of all these selfies?
Yeah.
I mean, the richness that they've got of the culture as things are now, it's just amazing.
It's like, hey, let's take a selfie. And it's not unusual. In fact, I can't wait to make a collage of all the selfies that I've been in, or I am guilty. I will just say, oh, look, can I just take a photo? Because
Yes, you are guilty.
But you meet so many people and you don't...
The question may be, what will future therapists make of it all?
Well, it's not about us. We're not doing it because of us. We're doing it for the memory of meeting that person at the conference, right?
Is there a selfie contest that's happening?
No, but there's a long ribbon contest.
Yes, there always is.
Can I show
Jason,
you?
Some people are taking it incredibly seriously.
I'm not. What's the one?
What's your most random?
Tina, can you explain the phenomenon? 8 years ago, just rattle through some of the top ones.
Yeah. Go on. What? Look, Digital Diva and Twitterati and volunteers. Okay. Now, there's another side to the conference that is really, well, I have found really rewarding, and that's volunteering. ISTE relies on a lot of volunteers, and there's different levels of volunteering. And this year, I didn't volunteer with the affiliates, but I volunteered out in the general conference. Now, Leanne is a volunteer champion because she does it every conference and does a wonderful job. But we were widgets and plugins, and it's amazing. No Jedis this year. We're the perfect Jedis. But what that does is, again, apart from our accents, because it's like, you look the same until you open your mouth because you wear your T-shirt, and then it's like, oh, I want to ask you a question, but I love your accent. Where are you from? And so it's really like it becomes another meeting point. But it's giving back to a conference that, 20,000 people all need to know where to go. Sometimes we don't. Well, we have to cross the street to come into other buildings for the Pennsylvania Convention Center, and there's the Skywalk. So I don't think you could even, if you haven't been here, you can't even imagine the enormity of this building. Yes. Any more questions? Oh, they're just being silly now. They're paying me out.
I know, but that's a significant thing. I think.
Oh, sorry. Okay, can you read that?
The block party.
That's from the Vice President of DLTV. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, I'll bring it back for you. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
We'll bring some ribbons back. Jason, we should have ribbons next year. It's great. It's like it's a conversation point. Just randomly, I was walking just to get to another session, and these two people came up to me, and I can't do the accent, and they said, "Oh, Maida, what have you got?" And I only had like 7. And I said, well, these are ribbons, and you can. And where are you from? That's just how it goes. And so to cut to the chase, she said, "Awesome sauce," and I said, oh, "Awesome sauce," and they weren't making fun of the way I said it, but we've made a little video of it, which I'll show the students when I get back. In that, she said it in a southern country accent. I said it in an Aussie accent, and her partner imitated me in a fake British accent, and so we all just cracked up. But it just shows that we're also learners. I know, it's funny. It's on my Twitter. Like, check it out. Everything gets put online all the time. Like, you can run, but you can't hide.
Might as well embrace it.
Yep, we do. Is there anything else that you'd like to know, or anything you'd like us to share?
It sounds like it's been really deeply engaging for Australians there. You've obviously enlightened them about our traditions, like having a kangaroo mascot in every classroom, and the accents are deliberate, put on from watching too much Crocodile Dundee. I wonder if there is some scope towards us being able to incorporate some of these things in our conference, Jason. Perhaps there's scope for having an ACEC 2016 in Brisbane, some volunteers, people of accents.
Well, certainly we always have volunteers at any of our major conferences in Australia. We can't. They're completely volunteer run, so it's completely organised and produced by volunteers, and there'll be calls for volunteers.
We've embraced that with passion, haven't we?
Hang on. We're upping the ante for Brisbane.
Yeah, we've been talking it up. We've been saying, come along. You know,
We've moved
it's
as
all
close as we
happening
can
next
get,
year.
short of actually having the next one in Auckland.
Well,
Auckland.
you can also market it as the home city of Aki Girl.
Oh
means
yes, of
that many
course.
more
We need
people.
we need to direct them to the channel. But speaking of Aussie things, we've started a few things here. So these are coveted. Like
we
people
identify
love-
ourselves like
Oh,
this.
wow.
And if you are a friend of an Australian, you get to give them one of these.
Yes.
And they become like the thing to have.
And can you see the gold kangaroo? Okay, so just for a joke, I said, okay, this is the gold kangaroo club. Well, I had people coming up to me saying, where's my gold kangaroo? I want to be part of the club. Okay, here's a funny story. I was at the CEO luncheon. It's really lovely when you sort of can get into some of the functions, and this man just came up to me and said something about my ribbons, and I was just like, oh, they're always really funny about it. But he was from England. Anyway, on his name tag, and I'll say his name because he's lovely. He's so down to earth. Lord Jim Knight. How many lords do you know? So we were all just being, connecting and just getting to know each other. It was lovely. And there were 4 other people from the UK, and I just said, so how do you prove that you're a lord when people sort of, you introduce yourself? And the other 2 people who I found out later were organisers of Bet and a few other things. Anyway, they just love us Aussies. It's just wonderful. It was really good because they wanted this ribbon, the troublemaker one. So I'm going to give it to them. But he brought up his wiki page and he said, this is me. And I said, that's fantastic. And the other guy said, yeah, that's a really good question because you don't know if a person is really a lord or not. And then he was interviewed on stage and I was just like cringing. But we're friends. He's following me on Twitter and he thinks it's all fantastic. And there's another connection. Now it's the UK and it's Bet. So there we go. We can just be going to conferences all year.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful experience, and it's been really good that we've been able to send some very deeply reverent Australians, accompanied by drop bears and gold crowns.
Yeah, when they fall off my lanyard, that's what we say. Oh, look, it's a drop bear now.
Or their heads fall off because they. Someone was walking around with my decapitated koala, and I was chasing them, saying, "Give it back! It's scary." And they tweeted it, and oh my. Look, it's serious too. It's not just fun, okay? So don't think that we just run around being silly. It's not. And there's camaraderie, isn't there? Yeah. They love us and we love them, but anyway, the silly hour has started. Oh, that's another great thing. They have graffiti boards everywhere. So if people have thoughts or ideas, this is an idea for Queensland, people can just write it up there, and it's not sticky notes, it's actual, like, the painted graffiti boards. And it's really good to read what people have written for different things. And so we seem to see that they're capturing people's ideas more and more. There's the hashtags, and there's different ways that you can give feedback to the ISTE board, and they're quite personal. And the new president, Matt, I forgot his last name, but he's on Twitter and he's following a lot of people, and it's becoming, even though there's 20,000 people here, it's still personal, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It's personal.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for a conference, really, isn't it?
Anyway, so I hope we've helped. Oh, there you go. And nice colours too. I hope that it's been of some benefit tonight to connect with you, because
it has been wonderful tonight. Thank you. This morning.
Yeah, thanks for getting up early, and we appreciate what you do as well. And tweet out.
It is. Australia's waking up with shock and horror with what's happening in Philadelphia, and we're so glad that you're there to be able to anchor in the attack of koalas and gold kangaroos. And,
for a small population, we certainly make ourselves felt.
We do.
There were quite a few people here today, which was good.
You're not only punching above your weight, you're hitting out at everyone around you. I take it as a crowd actually that's gathered around you. And my vice president from the DLTV's on the other side. Invite her around to the back of the.
Can you come and say hi, everybody? Stop being
We'll come and take a giant selfie.
he wants to talk to you.
Roland has summoned you. Fairly, come over here as well. You're representing DLTV
Yes.
too.
We're taking a giant selfie here.
Oh, you're
Giant
taking it.
selfie.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
And we've got Jane.
You've got the
Jane,
camera
come
lined up,
over here
Amanda?
as well.
I can do that. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, look, seriously.
Ben is a little. Yep, there you go. Can you get in the shot? This is your
Get in the
vice
shot.
president, Roland.
Here we go.
Vice President of
And we've got Jane as well.
Yes, Jane, peek out too.
All right, make sure
Steve.
you're
Get in, Ben.
I did.
make
Hang
sure
on.
you're on camera.
No, they haven't taken it yet.
They haven't
Ben.
taken it yet. Put your
Come
feet
back.
up.
What are we doing?
Jane,
Oh, look,
come around
there's a
in between
VIP.
Fairly.
Keep talking.
In between Fairly.
Oh,
That's better. Now I can move back. No, this way. Come over here. That's it.
oh, it says I can't take photos of mobile participants. What's that?
Oh,
Okay, you guys talk loudly. I'll see if I can do it.
All right,
Ready?
we're talking really
I
loudly.
heard a click.
No,
Are we done?
Are we done? We're very tired.
no, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, that's so sad.
Amanda, just click on the screen.
Yeah, click on the
if
screen.
I do.
Oh,
I was going to take a screenshot.
Where's your hangout?
Hang on.
We're back. It's okay. We're back.
Thank you very much,
You
everyone.
tricked us. You reversed us. Oh, God. Don't worry. Don't worry. So now we're reversed.
Now for the
It doesn't show for us, so that's okay.
Sorry? Can
I
you
said
see
it
it?
doesn't.
That was wonderful, everyone. And for our next one, we might try and get 20,000 teachers to look in through the window behind you, and then we
I'll
can really
periscope.
wrap it up.
I'll periscope them for you, okay?
Okay, done. We'll do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tina. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, Jen.
Enjoy your
everyone.
karaoke.
Thanks.
Sing,
We'll
sing a
periscope
Frozen
you.
song for me.
Yeah, we'll sing Frozen. Oh my God, that's so hard.
It is hard. Yeah.
Bye.
You all come back now,
Oh,
yeah?
yeah, thank you. You rebels.
So sorry.
Rebel rousers. We could hear you. Yeah, thank you.